What's the most common inaccurate health or fitness view most people hold? Story 1. That sweating more equals sign, more calories burned. My ex worked out in a hot garage with sweats on in the summer, trying to burn off more fat, and it was maddening trying to convince her to stop. Do not give yourself heat stroke trying to sweat more. You are only losing water weight. Story 2. Not really a view per se, but most folks go all in on diets designed for fitness models and weightlifters. If you're just casually getting into fitness, eating 5x your body weight or more in protein is a daunting task. So is going to the gym for an hour plus 5 days a week. Most people would have better success taking smaller bites of the fitness apple before trying to eat the whole thing in one bite. Story 5. That you can't lose weight effectively just by walking, and you won't build muscle just by walking. You can lose a fuck ton of weight just walking an hour every day. A nice brisk pace, go and see the ducks or something. It's fun and accessible, and it will make your butt look nice, because despite what some people may also believe, your leg muscles do actually do work when walking. Shocker. Also great for posture and pain and your mental health, especially if you're walking outside. Also, you get to go see ducks. TLDR, ducks. Story 6. If working in physical therapy has taught me anything, it's that an alarming amount of people have never worked out in their lives and have no idea that muscular soreness is normal after exercising. Also, soreness and pain are not the same thing. Story 7. That diets that help you lose weight aren't at their core still just low-calorie diets. Calories in versus calories out. That's all weight loss and gain is. Yes, carbs, etc. can enhance things, but if you aren't in a calorie deficit, you aren't going to lose weight unless there's something going on medically that you should see a doctor about. You could lose weight eating nothing but ice cream as long as the total calories is low enough. You shouldn't, but you could. Story 8. There is a healthy amount of alcohol. Alcohol is not healthy for you, period. Don't get upset when people won't agree to play along with your fantasy because you aren't adult enough to just say, yay, it's not healthy, but I'm living my life and I can accept the health consequences. Story 9. It's not all about how much you weigh. If you're working out and getting results, the number on the scale might go up. Muscle weighs more than fat, and muscle burns fat, so you might gain weight, even though you're getting stronger and thinner. One of my friends stopped working out because she gained a few pounds and wouldn't listen to me telling her that's a good thing, because she's obsessed with weighing a certain amount. Don't do that. Story 10. That you can look like most Instagram fitness models, YouTubers. The reality is most of these people, especially guys, are on some sort of steroid gear, TRT being the most common. Also, their pictures are not raw and typically taken after getting a pump with perfect lighting. I highly recommend not comparing yourself to these people. It can definitely affect your self-confidence when it comes to your fitness goals. Story 11. That you must be overweight or have a poor diet to have high cholesterol blood pressure. My mother was the healthiest, most active person I knew. She never topped 110 pounds in her entire life, and her cholesterol was always atrocious. Both her parents had that problem and passed it on to her. Genetics. Story 12. If you look fat, you are unhealthy. It's the engine underneath that really counts. I have seen some jelly bellies, bingo wings, and wobbly butts just absolutely killing it in marathons, sport, or with cardio and/or resistance classes at the gym. I don't judge on appearances anymore. Story 13. That's exercise is a good way to lose weight. It's not. It's a lousy way to lose weight. Diet sets your weight. Exercise sets your ability. There are many fat people in good shape. Sumo wrestlers, football players, and many skinny people who are in horrible shape. Story 14. The belief that weight loss is solely about exercising more and eating less. While calorie deficit plays a role, factors like metabolism, hormonal balance, and nutritional content are also crucial. This oversimplified view ignores the complexity of the human body and can lead to unhealthy habits and frustration. Story 15. There's an entire industry designed to prey on uninformed people and peddle them all sorts of quacky fad diets, and to pursue dangerous life-altering choices. Virtually anything and everything you can think of has already been thought up and marketed to people. You can pretty much throw a rock, and you will be bound to strike many idiotic ideas. If it isn't teaching you to pursue a balanced and healthy diet mixed in with regular exercise, then it's already bad advice and will adversely impact your health sooner or later. Some of the most egregious offenses and insufferable idiots who are guilty of this are the ones who buy ad space and do their utmost to to lure you in with catchy and dramatic sales pitches. You don't need to diet and exercise in order to lose weight. You just need to add this one food into your diet. People who diet and exercise to burn fat don't understand that this won't help them lose weight. I can eat whatever I want, and I will still lose weight because I have this one trick. This was actually a YouTube ad for a long time. People who prey on the uninformed like this deserve to be dressed up with 100 layers of clothing and then shot out of a space cannon directly into the sun. Story 16. There are so many common ones it's not even funny. Basically, almost any myth that exists has an equally popular contradicting myth. Some common ones include, carbs make you fat. They do not. Carbs absorb the most water during digestion, and water retention looks visually identical to body fat, but it can fluctuate wildly in a matter of days as you manipulate your carbs intake. It's also easy to overconsume carbs because of how hyperpalatable they are. Fat, the nutrient, makes you fat. It does not. It simply contains 9 cals/gram compared to the 4 cals/gram that protein and carbs contain. It's easy to overconsume fat because even small amounts are very calorie-dense. And combining it with sugar makes for some tasty AF foods. Sugar makes you fat. Or to pair with this, fruits are bad for you because they contain sugar. Naturally, occurring sugar has no negative impact on your health, and fruits also contain tons of nutrients that positively impact your health. The only way sugar makes you fat is if you are in a caloric surplus because of it. Story 17. People don't understand that disability is, like many things in nature, a spectrum. That person in a wheelchair might be able to stand for 30 seconds at a time to reach something, but not stand for the entire shopping trip. The person you saw park in a disability-designated space might be able to stand and walk, but it's excruciating and best limited. The perfectly healthy-looking person with a service dog might not be perfectly healthy. We mask so others will STFU about it or at least not gawk. The overweight person who only ever walks on the gym treadmill when they gym each night at 11 p.m. might have never physically recovered from a significant bone break and consequent surgeries a decade ago. They might go to the gym during off hours to be left alone as they focus on walking in a straight path and not ridiculed as needing to lay off the cake as they do their best not to limp in and out the door. Baby blues isn't always depression, but can involve a myriad of variable psychiatric disorders and symptoms, including psychosis. These symptoms can be disabling and worsen over decades, or the rest of someone's life. Don't be a dick to struggling new moms or anyone struggling with mental illness. Story 18. One I don't ever see mentioned. Most calories burned estimations, like on treadmills, stationary bikes, rowing machines, pelotons, fitness trackers, overestimate the actual calories you use while using them. Heart rate, for example, is highly dependent on your individual physiology and level of fitness, and calorie counters based solely on heart rate exertion cannot account for this, let alone the rest of your physiology. I only mention this to recommend anyone take a holistic approach to their fitness goals. Story 19. Not the most common, but definitely common regarding women. Weightlifting, or even heavy lifting, will not make you look like China, unless you take a lot of gear and have the actual intention of looking like China. In fact, weightlifting and building muscle is extremely helpful in burning fat, because more muscle means a higher calorie requirement. By its very nature, muscle wants to burn fat. Story 20. That eating the gimmick health food snacks or having protein shakes will help them get fit. Often they're not changing very many other habits. Quality sleep, hydrating fully, moving their body enough, and instead they're just chugging extra calories. You don't lose weight by eating watermelon, you lose weight by eating in a deficit, and watermelon can just be a low-calorie part of that diet. Not the reason fat is going to melt off. Story 21. That you should drink tons of water throughout the day. If you're drinking water to the point where your urine is clear, you're overhydrating and flushing away too many electrolytes. Many athletes have actually died from electrolyte imbalances due to overhydration. The vast majority of people will be okay if they just drink when thirsty. Story 22. That calories are some sort of poison that makes you fat instead of literally necessary to live. I've noticed that zero-calorie anything is perceived as a 100% unequivocally good thing when nutritional value is actually more complex. Story 23, going a bit in the other direction, but there is a cost and balance required associated with a lot of diets and workouts. Also, you can't just run off with one piece of information when there are accompanying requirements and information. Read and get all the information in its entirety, preferably with professional advice. Story 24. That vitamin C is going to boost your immune system once you start feeling sick and will chase off your cold. No, it's been proven over many studies that it doesn't increase your immense response enough or even a little to keep you from getting sick. It's an old wives' tale and is just marketing feeding off of that for expensive electrolyte drinks. Story 25. Drinking alcohol is healthy for your heart. Drinking alcohol regularly increases risk for cancer, diabetes, blood clots, heart attacks, etc. There is no level of intake that doesn't increase health risks. To avoid high risk, drink less than 3 drinks a week, and never more than 1 drink a day on non-consecutive days. Story 26. For most, back pain isn't a posture or sitting at your desk all day problem, so much as it's just a weakness problem. It's cured by progressing in pull-ups or strengthening your back proportional to your body weight, rather than never strengthening it at all. If your back hurts while working out, you're doing it wrong. Story 27. That beautiful, fit 20-somethings have anything to teach anyone about health and/or fitness. They're in their 20s. Take your advice from people with doctorates in their 30s and 40s. If they still look good, they know what they're doing. Story 28. The idea that they need to do specific exercises to be toned, and that if they do what bodybuilders do, they'll accidentally end up too bulky. Toned is just some muscle with low body fat. Same method to get there as a bodybuilder. It's just less far along the way. You will not wake up too muscular by accident. It's not that easy. Story 29. There is an alarming amount of people in this thread preaching calories in, calories out for weight loss. While yes, it is true, micronutrients are so immensely important to the entire process. If someone eats ice cream for all their calories and is in a deficit, they'll lose weight but also invite a host of health issues into their lives. Story 3. That you need to flush your system with all kinds of BS cleanses to detox your body. Honey, you're detoxing right now. It's called your normal kidney function. Most people don't know jack shit about nutrition. Preaching CECO without caveats is irresponsible. Makes me cringe. Story 30. Protein isn't some magical good nutrient, whereas carbs are evil. You only need around 71 grams of protein daily if not living an active exercising lifestyle. General rule: body weight equals sign amount of protein per 100 grams plus / 0.83 grams of protein per kilogram body weight. Only 10% of calories should come from protein. On average, protein nutrients contain 20 gar per 100 gr. Too much protein will not get burned and is a burden on your liver and kidneys. Story 31. The belief that fruit juices and fruit smoothies are good for you. Fruit juice has almost no fiber, and the sugar is immediately available and can be just as bad as drinking soda from a sugar intake perspective. Smoothies do contain fiber, however, it is mechanically broken down, which means the sugar is immediately available because your body doesn't have to do the work to slowly release it. Story 32. Breakfast, read that as 2 words, is the most important meal of the day. That food marketing is true. That you have a vast array of food options, providers, when actually only about 6 companies produce everything in a supermarket in America and likely globally. Story 33. That it's what you eat. Restricted diet plans that cut out entire food groups. Or when intermittent fasting, a gateway to anorexia, that determines whether or not you gain or lose weight, and that you have to buy special equipment or a gym membership and torture yourself. It's mainly how much you eat that makes you gain or lose weight. Eat what you already do, just slightly less than the recommended portion serving size. And move your body beyond your thumb on the remote control or your index finger on your phone keyboard. It's that simple. If you enjoy it, you'll stick with it. Doing those 2 things, I lost 120 pounds in 2.5 years. Story 34. Not the most common view, but prevalent enough. Juicing or fruit juices as some key to weight loss, health improvement, or disease prevention or treatment. Many juicing methods remove fiber that you would get from eating the whole fruit. The fiber is often found in the skin, the pulp, the connective fibrous materials of the fruit, which gets filtered out in many juicing machines. Fiber is one of the nutrients that people are often actually deficient in, so filtering it out in the process of juicing is counterproductive. After the fiber is removed, you're left with a sugar water that may have some vitamins and minerals, but is not really beneficial to the extent of canceling out the effects of excessive sugar. Most people are not really deficient in the vitamins and minerals they might get from the juice anyways. A glass of fresh squeezed orange juice has very nearly the same amount of sugar per serving as the same serving of Coke. As with many things, moderation and balance is key. If you're having a small glass of juice every day and have an otherwise balanced, nutritious diet and decent exercise regime, It's no big deal. Story 35. There are other ways to lose fat other than CICO. Unless you're surgically removing it, no, you can't work off a bad diet. Diet matters a lot more than activity level. I am sedentary, due to a disability, and lost 70 lbs. Activity helps, but it's not as necessary as a calorie-deficient diet. Keto is bad for you. The only people who should be doing keto are diabetics or anyone else prescribed the diet by their physician. You are not going to lose weight eating entire blocks of cream cheese. Keto only seems to work with people because calorie deficit is often a byproduct of the keto diet. Less carbs often means less calories, but it's not the direct reason you're losing weight. Also, your ability to eat foods is drastically reduced because so many things contain carbs, less food, less calories. Same with fats. Fat doesn't make you gain weight on its own, but it does contain a lot of calories. Too much fat, too many calories. Less fat, less calories. Story 4. That running is blankety bad for your knees. Story 36. That working out every single day is a good solution to starting a regiment. No, it is not. You will quickly be sore 24/7, not allowing your muscles and nutrients enough time to recover with rest and food, and give up within the month. I've seen it happen so many times. Obviously, there are those knee problems already and plenty of people running improperly. I was a 35-year-old with knee issues. Now I'm a 40-year-old who runs 40 miles a week, and my knees feel bulletproof.